Ahoy folks, Tris here with a more casual video on Mario Kart Tour. I wanted to take a moment to talk about my thoughts with this mobile game now as it stands. You know, it's been confirmed that new content is ending. This 4th anniversary tour is the end of new content. You know, we just got Gold Mario as a ranked reward, which I was lucky to get. But we now have a much better idea of what's to come for the rest of this game's life. Presumably, the rest of this game's life. We just earlier got the trailer for the Battle Tour, which is the next tour after the Anniversary Tour ends. And it gives a pretty good idea of, you know, the exact structure we're going to be looking at from here on, which is rerunning exact content from last year. The end of the trailer, very specifically, doesn't just give us a look at the Battle Tour, but it gives us a look at, you know, it gives us a good structure and schedule for how the rest of it's going to go. The Battle Tour, the Halloween Tour, the Autumn Tour. And it even gives us a look at the Ranked Cups, the exact Ranked Cups that we're going to be getting, which makes me think even their little trailers and updates on a week-by-week basis is probably going to slow down too. And they're just giving us this right now so we know ahead of time. And it's the exact same content from last year, from 2022 specifically. The same Battle Tour, the same Halloween Tour, the same Autumn Tour, with the exact same like splash screens for it, the exact same cups in the exact same ranked cups, or the exact same courses in the exact same ranked cups. And it's disappointing, honestly. It's genuinely very disappointing. Now, yes, we knew content for this game was ending, but I don't think that should mean the same thing as all content for the game basically stops. Just because it won't be getting new content doesn't mean they still couldn't have, I guess, put a little more effort into it than just rerunning the exact same content. For example, what happens to any older content from before the big update from last year? Before the gacha was gone and before battle mode was added? You know, last year's Battle Tour. What happens to everything before then? Because not everything's come back in the last year. Not every driver, not every course, not every kart, glider, etc. Are we not going to get any of them back? Like, will we not get any content from more than a year ago? Or any of those tours maybe repurposed into the now currently gacha-less format? You know, everybody assumed we would be getting rerun tours when the content stopped. That's not a problem. You know, but I think people kind of figured, yeah, maybe we'll get like a rehash of the old New York tour from a very long time ago, but instead of with the gacha, it'll be repurposed. It won't have any brand new content, of course, but it would have the structure of the current tours. But the fact that they're running straight into the same first 3 tours that we got with this big update last year, it feels very telling that it might just repeat specifically this past year. And that's really disappointing. But even beyond disappointing on that front, it's just a matter of Mario Kart Tour has so much missed potential. There's so many things this game could have done, should have done, and didn't. And I don't think that's just because of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass or anything like that. It kind of just feels unfinished, honestly. Like, take GBA Bowser Castle 4, for example, which we got, I think, sometime earlier this past summer. We never got a T or RNT variant for that course. It is the only course in the game not to have those. Many courses would get the RNT variants added at a later time, but the fact that this is missing both the T and the RNT is kind of strange. The only other course that's missing any of its variants is 3DS Rock Mountain, which also never got its RNT variant. Why are these the only 2 courses that were never completed? That just doesn't make sense, honestly. You know, even beyond the courses, looking into the characters and the alts and, you know, the hundreds of those that there are, there's so many missed opportunities with those as well, and so many, like, head-scratcher moments. Like, we never got an alt for Wario that had the coin box item, which is probably the biggest missed opportunity of them all, to be honest. But when you look at others, it starts to get stranger. Like, Larry Koopa was the only Koopaling to get an alt, and that happened just last year. So what makes him so special? Why did none of the other Koopalings get any? Did they finally start going to the Koopalings and saying, hey, let's start giving them alts, and then they were told to stop after the first one? Like, what happened there? Of course, beyond the Koopalings, So many other characters just missed out on alts entirely. Baby Luigi, Baby Daisy, Monty Mole, Diddy Kong. Tons, honestly. And some characters only had color variants or gold variants as their alts. And rather than getting any sort of fun special costumes, like Birdo and tons of enemies. Heck, some characters had really obvious costumes they could have just pulled from other games, and they never happened. Like Wedding Bowser. We got Wedding Mario and Wedding Peach. Why did we never get Wedding Bowser? I will actually always be upset about that. But there's Fury Bowser, Peach and any of her upcoming outfits from Princess Peach Showtime, Daisy with any power-up she's gonna get in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Super Kong to get a second Donkey Kong alt, for example. And so many more. I mean, we have everyone that was playable in 3D World in the cat suit, and the entirety of the new Super Mario Bros. U cast in their penguin suits. But why are there no other complete power-up collections? We only have some characters in Tanuki suits, and only Rosalina got her fire power-up. There's just plenty more they could have done. Like, seriously? Nobody got the boomerang suit? I mean, heck, I'd even take some of the Wonder cast getting the bubble power-up and using the bubble item in Tour, as bad as that item is. Like, Tour could have been a perfect way to promote new releases in upcoming games. And they just kind of fumbled it. Like, any time a new Mario game came out in the 4 years since this game came out, they could have been adding content to cross-promote them. I mean, Fire Emblem Heroes literally does this all the time. It's getting characters from Three Houses and Engage after those games released. It would have been great to see something in Tour to promote, like, the upcoming Mario Wonder or Mario RPG. There's a ton of options that could have been there that really weren't, for some reason. And even beyond characters and courses, there's many carts from past games that still could have come back, because we got a lot of carts from like Double Dash, DS, and such that were added here into Tour, and we didn't get all of them. Sure, we don't need all of them, but getting more of them would have been nice, and it's kind of weird at what point they chose to stop. Ultimately, I think Mario Kart Tour was a game that had so much potential for so long, in fact. 2022 was like the strongest year for this game, up until they removed the gacha. Now, this is not me complaining about them removing the gacha, because I think that was an incredible move, and I think the structure of the game, since removing the gacha, has been much healthier. But the battle mode was straight up disappointing. There's 5 battle courses in the entire thing that rotate out all the time, so there's only ever 1 or 2 ever available. They only brought back like 3 from other games. You couldn't have brought back more battle courses, turn more cities into battle courses like you started doing. It's just weird where it's lacking. And I mean, that's even beyond the fact that long ago, earlier this year, there was data mined info that implied, or at least seemed to imply, they were working on multiple battle modes, like Coin Rush and other new modes beyond just the balloon battle. So what happened to this game? And why did it never meet its full potential? Did the team just get fully moved over to finishing up the Booster Course Pass? Or is the Mario Kart team, or at least the Mario Kart Tour team, moved to working on something else entirely now? Like a brand new Mario Kart or something? Regardless, whatever it is, it's really disheartening seeing how disappointing the future of this game looks. I don't mind that the content itself ended, even though there's a ton of missed potential, but how quickly it's jumping to rerunning the exact same content from the last year has me concerned for the longevity. I think at this point, most players are just going to drop off, end their Gold Pass subscription, wave it off, and not boot up the game anymore. And it's sad. I know sometimes I'll still be booting the game up here and there, play online multiplayer or something, so if you see me in races, say hi, but it's very disappointing. I think Mario Kart Tour could have had a better send-off, and the last year and a half of the game could have been much better, and it could have lived up to much more than it ended up being. Before I sign off, I do not like the Mario vs. Luigi Tour. Why did we keep getting that team rally? Specifically that team rally. Couldn't we get any others again? Rerun other ones, fine. Why specifically Mario vs. Luigi? Again and again and again? Anyway, that's gonna do it for this little video. I don't mean to be fully just ranting about Mario Kart Tour, but it is disappointing to see where it ended up. But I had a great time with this game in the years that it was running, and I'll still be booting it up here and there. I'm going to end things here. Thank you guys for tuning in if you listened to basically a long rant. The rest of our Mario Kart content, of course, will be more uplifting and better than this, so stay tuned for that, especially when Wave 6 of the Booster Course Pass eventually launches. And stay tuned to GameXplain for plenty more on Nintendo in general. Otherwise, until next time, farewell everybody.